What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Modern Warfare video. Today we're going to be talking about 6 tips that will make you a god in the game. You guys need to follow these tips if you want to get more kills and die less, and if you don't want to be one of those people who gets 5 kills in 15 minutes on headquarters or domination. Don't be those guys. You want to be those guys who gets like 30 kills and maybe 5 deaths. So follow these tips. I'm going to show you guys what you got to do in order to make your weapons better, in order to play the game better, in order to know where the enemies always will be and stuff like that. So before we get into the video, if you guys could drop a huge like, that would be super appreciated, and if you guys could subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, that would be pretty cool as well. And let me know down in the comments below what weapon you think is the best weapon in the game. It doesn't have to be your favorite weapon, it's just what weapon do you think is super overpowered. I'm gonna still say the 725 shotgun, no matter how many times they nerf that thing. And speaking of OP weapons, guys, let's get into number 6, where I'm going to say the best tip for this one is to use the current meta weapons. This doesn't matter when in the game's life cycle, but it does matter which weapons are currently OP. So like right now, for example, the 725 shotgun, I don't use it personally because I think it's kind of like, it's annoying to die to, and I don't want to be that guy who makes all those other people rage, so I don't even take that shotgun out. But if I do see the enemies using it and I kill them, I'll pick it up and I'll kill them with their own weapon. A few other good examples on this is like the M4A1. Even though it recently got nerfed, it's still overpowered. The M13 as well, which I think is more powerful than the M4A1. Those are great weapons. And for SMGs, I would stick to the MP5 or the MP7. Those are great weapons as well. And the reason you want to use these is because the enemies are going to be using them anyways, and you don't want to be the guy who dies to those weapons all the time because you're using like a P90 or something like that. You want to be the guy who kills the enemy. So go ahead, use the current meta weapons, and don't let those other people use it against you. Now, I gotta say one thing about this is that they do get nerfed a lot, so don't try to get only used to that one gun. Try to use other weapons in the game as well, but when you want to do good, go ahead and use those weapons. Going down to number 5, you guys have to make sure you're running the right attachments. You want to use attachments that reduce your ADS. That is the most important type of attachment in the game, and the best example for that one is like the stippled grip tape is probably the best example I could give you guys. This one increases, or sorry, reduces your ADS time, increasing your reaction time and stuff like that. So that really helps a lot. And then you also want to run attachments that give you a better sprint to fire speed, because we know how slow that is in the game. And for those of you guys who don't know what that attachment does, every time you're sprinting and then you stop sprinting and you go to aim down sights and shoot someone, that is very slow. But if you have attachments that make that faster, and you get caught in a situation where you're sprinting and there's an enemy up ahead of you, you could stop sprinting, aim down sights, and start shooting a lot faster with attachments that actually help that out. And going on with the weapons, I also want to say pre-aim every single corner in this game. Like, you got to pre-aim literally everywhere in order to get those kills, because people camp like crazy in this game. People are camping everywhere, and some people don't even know how to camp, which brings me to number 4, and that's know when to camp and know when to rush. So for example, if you're camping and you're alone and stuff like that, and you see the enemies and you kill them, and you see another enemy, you kill him as well, and you kill like 5 people, that's your sign to get the heck out of there. But a lot of people end up staying in the same spot. You kill like 5 people in one area, you think you're going to continue getting kills there, and you don't leave. And the reason you do die in those situations is because those 5 enemies that you killed, they know exactly where you are, and they're all coming for you at the exact same time. So you want to get the heck out of there, and you also have to know when to rush. If you're, let's say you're alone on the map on one side and you know there's no enemies around you whatsoever, you could rush around and try to flank the enemies. That is completely fine. You could also rush when you know that there are enemies ahead of you and you want to get around them and stuff like that. So that is fine as well. You don't only have to camp in this game, but when you're camping, you got to know when to do it as well. Like, if you hear that the A flag is getting captured on domination and you're near the A flag, that's when you should try to like kind of rush it a little bit, kill the people off the flag, and then move back to where you were or something like that. But if you're alone, if you're completely alone defending your own flag, let's say you're at C flag for example, and you see 5 enemies going for it, don't even try to get those dudes. Go somewhere else, wait for them to cap the flag, and move to you one by one. that's when you guys could take them out. Going down to number 3, this is probably a very important one as well, and that is that you got to learn the weapon recoil patterns. They never change in Call of Duty games. So let's say you have the MP7, for example, and you're shooting at someone, and you start shooting him in the chest, and then the gun starts swinging upwards towards his left shoulder. So it's going up on the right side for you. That is going to be the recoil pattern always for this weapon. It's not random. Every time you shoot someone in the chest, that's where it's going to go. So you got to start learning the recoil patterns so that you could control these weapons and actually keep your aim 100% on point. And I think learning recoil patterns is something a lot of people struggle with, but it's probably the most important thing you got to do. If you're using a weapon over and over again, learn those recoil patterns and you'll know exactly where to shoot the enemy and where to hit that first shot. If the gun barely has any recoil, like the MP7, it doesn't have much, to be honest, start aiming at his neck and upper chest area. That way the gun will kick up a little bit and you'll get those headshots, which really does help in this game. Now, if you're using the M4A1 class that I gave you guys, I think last week, that class is an absolute laser. There's like no recoil on it whatsoever. Then you could go ahead and just start shooting at his head and drop him like 2 bullets rather than 4 or 5 bullets. Now, going to number 2, this one, in older CODs, I never would recommend doing this, even though I have kind of recommended doing it, but I wouldn't recommend excessively doing it, and that is head glitching every single time you have the chance. Lean every single time you have the chance, and mount your weapon every single time you have the chance. Now, I did play this game the first week it was out without doing any of these things. I was barely head glitching, I was barely leaning, and I was barely mounting. And seriously, guys, this is super important. I changed my playstyle. I started leaning around corners, I started mounting my weapon and head glitching everywhere, and I've been getting so much better KD games, and it's insane. Like, it's actually insane. I was going from like getting a game of 20 and 11 to going and getting games of going like 40 and 6, 40 and 3 and stuff like that. So trust me, head glitch everywhere. If you don't do it, the enemies are going to do it on you, and you don't want to die in those situations. How many times have you gotten into a situation where some dude is head glitching, you only see the top of his forehead, and he kills you before you could even get a bullet off him? That happens a lot in this game, so don't be the guy who doesn't do it. Be the guy who does it. You got to change that play style. You got to start playing like that, and trust me, man, it is insane. Also, the super sprint in this game, it might be fun to do, it might be really fun to do, but you got to know when to use your super sprint, and you got to know when not to use the super sprint. So I'll give you guys 2 examples here. Don't use your super sprint if you're rushing straight towards the enemies. They're gonna shoot you really damn fast. When you should use the super sprint is when you're trying to get away from enemies and slide to cover. If you sprint and then slide, that is super fast. That'll get you to cover pretty quickly. Or you could use it if you just spawned in and you want to move up quicker as well. There shouldn't be too many enemies near your spawn, so you could get away with it using it there as well. But trust me, if you're using it just to rush around the map like a headless chicken, chances are you're going to be getting shot, you're going to die a lot, and it's really not worth it at the end of the day. And the last tip that I want to give you guys for this one is learn how to properly drop shot. So in the previous Call of Duty games, Black Ops 4 especially, jump shotting was the best. That's when you jump, when your character jumps, you press X or A or whatever, and you jump your character and shoot at the same time. That was the meta in Black Ops 4. That was really good to do. But in this game, jump shotting, yeah, I do it a lot out of panic and out of, I guess, because I'm so used to doing it in Black Ops 4, but you got to learn how to drop shot in this game. This game right here, really, drop shotting helps a lot, and I don't understand why, because normally when you drop shot, the enemy shoots your head, but in this game, it's kind of glitchy, so when you do drop shot, the enemy will have a lot of trouble shooting you, and he'll miss you like crazy, and drop shotting is super effective at close to medium range in this game. Long range, yeah, it's still good, but it's not as effective. But trust me, guys, if you want to win those one-on-one gunfights, those surprised gunfights when you don't know where the enemy is and then you just run into him, get ready to drop shot. You guys got to start doing that a lot. Like, that's probably the best. So like I said, guys, use the meta weapons like the M4A1, the MP5, MP7, M13, 725, even the Kar 98K, which is not a sniper, but if you like sniping, use that weapon right there because it feels like a sniper, just 10 times better. Make sure you guys are using attachments that make your ADS and sprint to fire speed faster. Know when to camp and when to rush. Learn the weapon recoil patterns, head glitch, and learn how to properly drop shot. Those are the 6 tips that will make you a god in Modern Warfare if you do them properly. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Nick. Subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on, and if you made it this far, might as well drop a like. It takes 0.01 milliseconds to like a video, so I would really appreciate that, guys. And let me know which weapon you guys think is the most overpowered. Alright, thank you for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.